Welcome, everybody. I was thinking about, thanks, um, what we've been working on, kind of compassion, mindfulness, um, and one of the things that I think is often overlooked and is a really important part of what we would call more of a wisdom practice, which is, it's an interesting word, like wise, what makes something wise. And maybe think of wisdom as being what creates balance in our life, what creates balance internally. And one of those things is a gratitude practice. Um, 2 days we have Thanksgiving, so it kind of, makes sense to maybe focus on this a little bit today. But oftentimes we have stressful days, stressful times, things that just feel like, oh, it was shitty, or, whatever sense we have going to bed is like, oh, that's what the day was like. And oftentimes we overlook some of the things that went well, that were nice, that might create a little buoyancy or balance for us. And the thing about a gratitude practice is it doesn't have to be anything that's big. To be grateful for oxygen, or grateful for computers, or clothing, or heat, or anything really. Just anything throughout the day that you're thankful for. Well, and so mentioning that your furnace broke is something that oftentimes we're not grateful for the thing until we don't have it, and I think that's the piece here, that gratitude practice is more about how do I bring that gratitude to the things I do have, even when it's not broken. Think about like the first time we did a body scan together in very first MBSR class. How rare is it to go into your body when something's not broken or hurt or you're struggling with it, just to go into your body when maybe there's neutrality, or nothing is kind of present for you. It shifts your relationship to that. So the same thing here. Something goes out, we notice it, and then we're grateful later, and then eventually, once we have it and it's consistent, we lose that gratitude, or we don't think about it. And so I think the idea here is, how do we carve out time to create some balance? You can create balance in other ways too. Some of it's like we've done a sense and savor walk. How do you just savor the present moment and really be with what's here, what's right in front of you. That can create some balance, especially if you're finding yourself, feeling disconnected, dissociated, feeling pretty down. A sense and savor walk is great. So it's just knowing when to kind of do some of these things. It's hard to know, like, what do I need right now? That's part of the question. What do you need? And sometimes we're like, oh, I just need to play video games, or I just need to, zone out. Maybe what you really need is to be present, and to, because sometimes when we try to zone out, we're trying to get away from something. And by doing, something that, might help us zone out, we're also trying not to think about the thing, versus, can I be with the present moment differently? Can I be with this? So what does that have to do with the gratitude practice? Well, gratitude practice is another way to shift our relationship to the present moment, to life in general, to our feelings about what's happening. Um, to feel grateful for something can even just, bring a little bit of warmth to an otherwise really um, dry or cold feeling. And it really doesn't take much. Literally, like, I know I've mentioned this before, but um, a lot of research on gratitude is just when going to bed, say, 3 things you're grateful for, however small or big, and they can be repeated every day. They can be different. The act of doing that, you have to search for the things that are pleasant, or at the very least neutral, but mostly pleasant. Yeah, the things that add to your life. And by doing that, even though we might feel really stressed, depressed, down, we're creating that bit of buoyancy there just to have that as well. And the cool thing is we're not making it up. Like, it's just facts. I'm grateful for heat. I'm grateful for, blankets. I'm grateful for socks. Like, whatever it is. It's not like saying, as we're feeling really down and depressed, like, oh, it's going to be much better and things are going to get, and trying to cheer ourselves up, which we're like, is that true? I don't know. I don't feel like it's going to be. Instead, it's like, no, let me just balance this by bringing gratitude to the things that are here. There are some things in psychology that's supported by neuroscience. This is one of them. That this literally helps with depression, mood, the simple 3 things a day. I think I've also shared with all of you, I have on my phone, I just set a reminder that goes off every day around, I think it's 9:15 p.m. that says gratitude practice, and it stays on my phone until I do it. And some days I totally forget and just, don't do it. So it's still there the next day, and I do it from the day before. But again, you have to search for what happened yesterday. What were the things that were nice? What I enjoy about it? Because oftentimes we have, more of a negativity bias. So we see all the things that didn't go well. For those of you who are parents, you know this all too well, because you go to, the zoo, for example, all you think about are all the stressors that happen and, the things that occurred. At least that's what happens for me. And I forget the nice moments and the moments that, there was no whining about the toys and, which one can they get. And, the moments that, maybe I was holding my, son on the merry-go-round, or whatever it was that that was a nice moment. So we're going to practice this a bit today. We're going to bring some gratitude into the practice, and we'll warm it up with some easier gratitude, and then we'll kind of shift it. The hard part, I think, oftentimes for many of us, is bringing gratitude to ourselves. Things we're grateful for us. We're not going to start there, but we'll add some of that in and just kind of notice that. One thing that is very common is when we start to bring gratitude to ourselves, we start to feel selfish or self-centered. Know that there's common humanity there, that it's awkward for everybody. If it feels overwhelming, of course, let it go. If it feels challenging, see if you can challenge yourself a little bit. Okay. So, go ahead, get into whatever mindful posture you want to get into today. You can be laying down, be sitting. Maybe ask yourself, what is it that you really want right now? What would really support your practice? Would it be to lay down or to sit? Does that not matter? And once you're settled, maybe just take some intentional deep breaths into the belly and out. And letting the breath find its own rhythm. Notice whatever is holding the body right now, the chair, the floor, cushion, the mat. See if there's a bit of appreciation here, thankfulness. They may not have been present before I said it, and that's okay. But what would it be like, maybe even trying it? I'm thankful for this chair, for this ground supporting the body. And if as you do this, maybe notice how the breath has found its own rhythm again, and this is a natural physiological part of the autonomic nervous system. Something we don't really think about much. If there's maybe some gratitude or thanks for the breath, for the lungs breathing, the body filling with oxygen, expelling carbon dioxide. Maybe taking a moment to appreciate this. If you haven't done so already, bringing the focus of awareness to breathing, to the breath. As you do this, maybe also inviting in some gratitude for something that's present in your environment right now. It might be whatever's holding you. It might be the temperature of the air, the clothes you're wearing. Technology, internet. You might even say, in kind of the language of I'm thankful for and say it to yourself, whatever that is. Just being curious what that's like to kind of the impact of gratitude in this moment. Now letting the mind go back to earlier today, to something that you're grateful for. It can be something small or big or somewhere in between. Just finding one thing. When you found that thing, let yourself linger there for a moment. Again, you might use the words I'm grateful for, and whatever that is. I'm grateful for yoga mats. Now finding something else to be grateful for today. Maybe there was a moment of time that there was space between meetings or something you needed to do. Maybe there's gratitude and space. Or if you've exercised, maybe grateful for the ability to do that. The exercise equipment. And remember, it doesn't matter how small or big. The whole point here is to just find gratitude for something you're thankful for. Let's do one more. So finding one more, kind of a third thing that you've experienced today, encountered, related to, been with. It can be a person as well. It can be moments of connection, a hug, a kiss. Something that made you laugh. An actor or a comedian. Again, lingering here for a moment, savoring whatever that is. And see if you can be curious about what it's like, what you notice, what happens in the body and in the mind as you bring gratitude to things. shifting the attention, if it's kind of lingering in the previous parts of today, shifting it to the present, if it isn't already here. Anchoring with the breath. If you like to, you can also expand the body as a whole. And in this moment, maybe searching the body for something you may be grateful for. This might be on the outside or on the inside. This could be the way a fingernail is painted, the way a toenail looks, hair, skin. It could be the way that you relate to others. How you feel towards others. Maybe it's gratitude for a knee or a shin. A feeling of warmth or coolness. The fact that the heart is beating. So it could be a physiological attribute, a physical attribute. See if it doesn't feel too challenging, if it doesn't feel overwhelming. See if you could challenge yourself to identify a personality attribute that you're thankful for. This might be how caring you are, loving, independent, helpful, funny, kind, gracious, respectful. If this feels difficult, you might kind of ask yourself, what would a friend, a loved one, a coworker, someone who knows me well, maybe, they appreciate? What might they say? Oftentimes we get stuck in our own perspective, and it's hard to see the things that maybe others see in us. So maybe use this as a bit of a mirror. For example, you may not believe that you're funny. However, your coworkers or loved ones say you are, and that feels connecting in some way. Or maybe you don't feel loving enough. Those around you compliment you on how loving you are. Or kind, supportive, helpful. Self-sacrificing, self-caring. Now, shifting the focus. You don't need to do this with the eyes, but more with your mind. Shifting the attention, or the focus of attention, to this group. Maybe find something, someone that you're thankful for, something you're thankful of. This can be something that has occurred today or in the past. A moment of connection, learning, insight, support. Now we're going to shift focus to a little bit of the future, to the next few days. Many will be with family, loved ones, around other people that you might be sharing this holiday with, friends. If it's available to you, maybe finding someone that will be with you in the next few days that you could bring some gratitude towards. It doesn't have to be all of them. It doesn't have to be the whole person. Maybe an attribute, something you're doing with them. See if you can choose someone that, if there are multiple people, this just comes easy. And if you're going to be around anybody who might be challenging in some way, see if you can find one thing you may be thankful for of this person. Maybe it's something they usually bring, a dish. Maybe it's that they get excited about something. Maybe it's the way they interact with other loved ones. And if there is nothing redeemable that you can feel gratitude toward, that's okay. Maybe bringing gratitude towards choice, the fact that you can choose whether or not to stay in uncomfortable situations. Maybe being grateful for the freedom to walk outside. To hold a boundary. Grateful to not have this person in your life every day. For moments that you get to take care of you. Remembering that you can both love someone, care for someone, and have gratitude that you have space, freedom, choice, ability to come and go, to not be stuck. And finally, shifting the attention back to you, to this moment. And see if you can bring a bit of gratitude towards yourself for engaging in this practice, regardless of what occurred during it, how it went, any judgments. Just gratitude for taking the time out of busy days, busy schedules, your life to show up for you, to try something new. And then as you're ready, slowly and gently ending this practice by honoring it in any way you'd like to, and opening the eyes if they're closed.